Hey everyone, it's Jesse, educatedemonstratesell.com. I'm going to do a quick video on a webinar that I did actually a little while ago with SalesMate, which is a CRM that we use. If you want a free trial, link in the description. And we did a really cool webinar, and the thing was about decoding Sales 360, and want to do an update video about decoding sales and some things that we talked about on the webinar. And it wasn't really, it wasn't to sell SalesMate, use whatever CRM, whatever software is right for you. It was really to talk about the nature of sales today and what's going on in the sales world today. And, with so many softwares out there and so many ways for um, business development reps and account executives to connect with and get in touch with potential customers, it's really critical to make sure that we are applying the best sales chops out there. And what I mean by that, we're talking about things like making sure that we're not relying too much on software, right? And I'm someone that uses a lot of software. So in our training programs, which we're developing, we're talking with reps and really fine tuning their pitches and really identifying those pain points when people are on meetings with them. So, for instance, we have a free sales training link in the description, and every day you'll get a sales tip that's really actionable. That's something that I've used in the field, that I've used on calls. That's really, really important to make sure that your presentations are as impactful as possible. And the thing is making sure that we're not relying too much on automation. And automation is really, really important. However, when we're relying too much on automation and sending email after email without any calls, it becomes a little bit robotic. It becomes a little bit, you just get deleted. And it's really important, if you send an email a day or two later, use the same software, a lot of the same software, or that you found that email, pick up the phone and make the call. And I get a lot of cold emails too, and get very few calls. And that's because making cold calls is more challenging. It's difficult, and there's rejection. But if you reframe a cold call and really think about it as a way to introduce yourself and your company, it really puts dimension to it and makes it a lot easier to execute. So, for instance, if you're calling someone and says, "Oh yeah, I got your emails. If we're interested, we'll reach out." Well, they got the emails. So you can reframe that, say, "Yeah, thanks for checking the emails. You know, what do you think? Is that a lot of them? I know you probably get a lot of salespeople reaching out to you. Let me ask you this. Just ask the person point blank, right? Is this something that you might be interested in exploring further, right? We want to be added into your consideration set. Depending, let's say you're selling a software. How are you currently managing X problem right now? So just don't, on that call, just don't say, "Oh, we got the emails. If we're interested, we'll reach out." Try to book the meeting, right? And if you can't book the meeting, send me some more information. You should have a piece of content ready to send the individual, and not just send them a deck, because a deck, candidly, is not going to be reviewed. So in this webinar, we talk about asking questions. We talk about asking the tough questions, right? We talk about talking about the competition without talking about the competition. We talk about telling a story on a call, right? And some of the best salespeople actually don't really realize that they're the best salespeople, because it comes so naturally, and because they're naturally good storytellers, right? So I'll put the link to this webinar in the description. Also check out the training as well. I'll just put that in the link.
But
I'll put that.
timing the right questions is also very, very important.
I'll put that in the description. Yeah, so this is a quick course, mini course, where we talk about being a more effective sales professional, right? and just put your name and email. Each day you'll get an email, things like, why'd you take a call with us? I can't tell you how many calls I've been on where someone just says, just starts talking. You want to make sure that you set your call up properly, right? How do you talk about the competition? How do you follow up? How do you follow up without following up? And these are things that we're talking about in our course as well, in our training programs, which is being revised and developed right now, which is going to be released. Because if you search on YouTube, search on Google, how to make a cold call, how to do B2B sales, how to sell software, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of searches and results of that happening per month. And it's because there's a lot of ambiguity out there and a lot of conflicting advice. And I'm someone that has built a business from the ground up by calling without a CRM and doing a lot of capabilities presentations, presenting our services, and really think that we've distilled some best practices and things that work, and some things that are a little bit candidly counterintuitive, things that you're not seeing on YouTube, not things that you're not seeing in the top 10 infographics, things that are a little bit different, and following our educate, demonstrate, sell framework. Remember, educate, demonstrate, and sell is the last thing, and then we're selling in a certain way and also educating. There's not enough education in sales happening right now, and demonstrating, especially if you're demoing a software or a product and screen share, there's not really enough demoing. It's just a lot of feature dumping, and we talk about that here as well. Again, avoiding the feature dump. How are you communicating your product or service in a way that avoids just saying it does this, this, and this, and just talking about features? What's important to the customer? What's important to the other person you're speaking with on the other side of the call? It might not be a bunch of features. Someone might want it to do X, and then you need to think about what was said on the call prior to frame your demo piece. And these are all things, that we talk about in our training programs. And if you're interested, please get in touch, link in the description. And we're building up our training division, and interested in learning about what you're selling and your product or service, what you're working on, and maybe there's an opportunity to work together and get involved in our programs. Thanks everyone, it's Jesse, and I'll talk to everyone very, very soon.